now we're recording. And now we gotta bring Henry back.
Now you recorded down.
Because there's a lot of kids absent.
Yeah, but
Now we're gonna share the screen. And now we're gonna go to our notes. Okay. So this is lesson 7 of our, I won't know how to stop that now, of our packet. And next week, the first thing we're gonna do after Monday's Martin Luther King Day, we have off. Tuesday, we're gonna do a quiz review, because we're pretty well more than halfway through this packet. So we're gonna do some quizzing to see how much we're remembering. We're doing some more comparing today. Brady, I'm up here. Turn your whole body around to me. There you go. All right. So we have an equation that represents the balance in Sally's checking account. X represents the number of weeks, and Y represents the amount of money. Now that's labeled right here. Okay? All right. The table below shows the balance in John's checking account. So this is Sally, but this is John.
I'm going to be broke pretty soon. I'm going to be down another kind of week.
Okay. First of all, what is the rate of change for John's account? What do you want me to do?
Changing my
Lexi.
M equals change in Y.
Thank you. Evelyn, what is the change in Y? Ooh, she's good. That's a -10. Those are going down. And what is the change in X, Marshall?
1.
That's 1. So we have a rate of change of -10. John, your account is going down, buddy. All right. What is the rate of change in Sally's account? Be careful here because this is written funny. Sally's account. Grace, any thoughts? A little louder. 250. Very good. It's written backwards. Here's your MX plus D, but that's okay. So Sally's account's going up. Good for her. Whose account is changing at a greater rate? Now you have to be careful. John's is decreasing, but is it at a greater rate? Yeah. So even though his is negative, it's a greater rate because he's going down a lot. All right. So John's
need to work longer hours.
account is changing at a greater rate.
Can I say my account?
It's okay, mine's going down too. So. Now, graph both functions on the coordinate plane to compare the rates of change. So we want to see what it looks like. If John's account is changing at a greater rate, we want to see what that looks like. So weeks are across the bottom, money is going up the top on the Y. So let's plot John's first because it's easier. These are points. The point 0, 80 is here. Then we have 170, 260, 350. Is that right? Okay. So now you're going to take your straight edge, which I don't have, and you only pretend to have. And we're going to do this.
So $0.
Look at that. So look at the steepness of it, okay? Now, y equals 250x plus 10. Y equals 250x plus 10. How do I go about graphing this? Thoughts? Jake? So y-intercept is 10. So it's going to cross here, right? All right, and then, got to go up by 250. Slope is 2.5/1, which is gonna stink. How about if we go by, what if we increase this by, it'd be nice if it went by tens, right? What can I multiply that by to get 10? 4,
Yeah.
okay? So this is gonna be 10/4. So I'm gonna go up 10/4, up 10/4. And let's look at that. Oh boy. Alright, so just looking at the graph, even though they're going in different directions, one is a negative slope and one is a positive, look how shallow Sally's is. It's like, it's almost barely increasing at all. So the less vertical your line, or how about this, the more vertical your line, the greater the rate of change. Read.
And if we have arrows going down.
Sure. In this, I'm not so sure. So let's write that little note to us. The steeper the line, the greater the rate of change. You good? Compare the initial values. Ooh, who wants to do that?
She said no.
She didn't say no. Jake's on today, but I'm not gonna let Jake do everything.
I didn't.
Marlena, can you compare the rates of change for me? Loud so I can hear it.
Sally rated to.
No, initial value.
No, you said right.
I did, I meant the initial value.
John's initial value is greater than Sally.
Good, yeah. John's initial value. And I'm actually gonna put parentheses 80 is greater than Sally's. And I'm gonna put parentheses 10. That was really bad writing. Okay, again, do you guys see anything earth-shattering new that we're talking about today? No, but it's all like doing it in different ways. Now graph them both, now put them this, now do that, okay? Consider the three linear functions below. Which function has the greatest rate of change? So this is one of them. And that's the, so I'm gonna call this A, B, and C. Because when I first did this question, I'm like, what? So which function has the greatest rate of change? I want you guys to go ahead and do the rate of change for each. And David, something you need to know is, even if you do this in your head, you have to show me your work. I'm a pain like that. Just that. All right? Well, it's a table. You're looking slope from a table. What do you have to write, Marshall? What's my formula? John?
Change y over change.
Yep.
That's what you do.
Right.
Are you guys all working? Because I hear a lot of noise. So if you sit there and stare at it, you think, I don't know what to do. Just start writing. Write down your formula. Start doing what you know. David, any of this look like stuff you've been doing? Some of it, okay. Let's see if the Giggle Girls have an answer. These girls. That looks more like a poop. Write an answer. Answer your question now. Here. Do you see
That's why I did
Yeah. You can't, it's a negative number. What's the coefficient on that right now? -1. We gotta divide everything by -1. All right, so here's my word for A, giving me a slope of -5. Here's my word for B, giving me a slope of -3/4. Here's my word for C, giving me a slope of 2. Does anyone want to talk about any of those slopes? John,
Henry said something in chat.
don't care. Ryan, Jake, it doesn't because it's not in y=mx+b form. You have to put it into y=mx+b form, the equation of a line, before you can find the rate of change. Okay? Nora, yeah, because remember, right here, this coefficient is -1. So I don't want y, negative y, I want y. So I have to divide by -1 every single term. Okay? Anyone else have a question? Grady, I can. And now we're going to answer the question, which is, which function has the greatest rate of change? Violet. A. Function A has the greatest rate of change. It might be decreasing, but it's changing in a negative direction more than anything else is changing in a positive direction. All right? So, that, I think, concludes the, no, there's one more. Do you have this one? Function 1 is defined by that equation, and function 2 is represented by the graph. Which statement about the function is true? And so all of them are talking about rate of change. So we need to find the rate of change. Function 1 has a rate of change of
-3.
good. And function 2, we need to do rise over run. Huh?
There's like one pretty point.
There is. There's 2. So right above the 8 on the right side.
That's not a pretty point.
I don't know. That's tough.
No, it's not. Just count it.
It's a tough one.
It's not a pretty point.
Come on. Stop it. Stop. It's a little off, it appears to me. So let me think about this.
If there's 1.
Eventually, there's got to be.
I feel like those two ends have to be pretty points.
They aren't.
But they are. All right, well, let's, oh, I know. Look at this. And look at this.
It's positive.
Yes, this is a positive slope. So even if we don't know it, let's see if we can answer the question. Function 1 has a greater rate of change. No, function 1 has the greater rate of change and the greater y-intercept. Does it have a greater rate of change? We don't know because,
No, because
oh, that doesn't help us. All right, well, let's do y-intercept. Y-intercept for this one's 1. And y-intercept for this one, I don't know, -3?
Yeah.
So that one could be true. Function 2 has a greater rate of change and a greater y-intercept. That's out. Function 1 has a greater rate of change and function 2 has the greater y-intercept, so that one's out. Function 2 has the greater rate of change and function 1 has the greater y-intercept. Ooh. So it's either A or D.
No, it can't be D
Why?
because.
Announcements are on and you're quiet.
Bus 95 will not be in the lineup this afternoon. Any student that rides bus 95 will ride bus 12 this afternoon. Students participating in all county
Guys, stop talking.